Can the human brain fail us at the exact moment we need it most? Can years of preparation, a lifetime of sacrifice, disappear in a single moment? On July 12, 1998, the greatest footballer on earth walked onto the biggest stage in sport. Just hours earlier, many believed he might never play again. Nearly 3 decades later, nobody knows exactly what happened inside a hotel room outside Paris. Doctors still disagree. Teammates remember different details. Conspiracy theories refuse to die. But one thing is certain. The World Cup Final between Brazil and France became one of football's greatest mysteries. This is the story of Ronaldo Nazário de Lima, the phenomenon, and the night that changed football forever. Long before he became a global superstar, Ronaldo was just another kid growing up in the suburbs of Rio de Janeiro. Football wasn't entertainment. It was survival. He played barefoot on concrete streets, weaving past older boys with impossible speed. Coaches quickly realized they were watching something different. Not just another talented striker, a once-in-a-generation athlete. By the age of 16, Ronaldo had already made his professional debut for Cruzeiro. Goals came almost every match. Scouts from Europe couldn't believe what they were seeing. Power, acceleration, balance, finishing. He possessed everything. In just over a year with Cruzeiro, Ronaldo scored 56 goals in 57 official matches. Europe came calling immediately. At only 17 years old, he signed for PSV Eindhoven in the Netherlands. A new country, a new language, a completely different culture. None of it mattered. Ronaldo adapted almost instantly. Across 2 seasons, he scored 54 goals in 57 appearances despite battling his first serious knee injuries. Every week he seemed to invent a new way to score. By 1996, Europe was fighting over his signature. Barcelona won the race. The transfer fee broke records. What followed was one of football's greatest individual seasons. 47 goals, 49 matches. Defenders bounced off him. Goalkeepers had nightmares about him. Fans watched in disbelief as he dribbled past entire defenses. He wasn't just quick. He was unstoppable. The football world gave him a nickname. Il Fenomeno. The Phenomenon. In 1997, Inter Milan shattered the world transfer record to bring Ronaldo to Italy. Serie A was considered football's toughest league. If you could dominate Italy, you could dominate anywhere. Ronaldo did exactly that. That same year, he became the youngest player ever to win the Ballon d'Or. He also claimed his second consecutive FIFA World Player of the Year award. At just 21 years old, he was widely regarded as the best footballer alive. His popularity exploded beyond sport. Television commercials, magazine covers, international sponsorships. Nike built an entire global campaign around him and launched the iconic R9 boots. Everywhere Brazil traveled, crowds gathered simply to watch him warm up. The pressure became enormous. Brazil expected nothing less than another World Cup, and Ronaldo was expected to deliver it. The 1998 World Cup was unlike anything football had seen before. For the first time, 32 nations competed. The tournament was bigger, louder, more global. Brazil entered France as overwhelming favorites. Then disaster struck. Just before the tournament, Brazil lost legendary striker Romário through injury. Suddenly, the responsibility shifted almost entirely onto Ronaldo's shoulders. He was only 21 years old. But an entire nation expected him to become world champion. Brazil reached the final, not always convincingly, but they kept winning. Every step brought more pressure. Every headline focused on Ronaldo. Every camera followed him. He smiled. He joked with teammates. But few people understood the psychological weight he carried. July 12, 1998, World Cup Final Day. The Brazilian squad spent the morning at their hotel outside Paris. Everything appeared normal. Players relaxed. Some played cards. Others rested before the biggest match of their careers. Then, sometime during the afternoon, everything changed. According to teammates, Ronaldo suddenly suffered a convulsive seizure in his hotel room while sharing it with Roberto Carlos. His body became rigid. He reportedly lost consciousness. Teammates rushed to help. Medical staff were called immediately. Chaos spread through the Brazilian camp. Some players later admitted they thought Ronaldo was dying. He was taken to a nearby medical facility for evaluation. For a brief period, nobody knew whether football's biggest star would even survive the day. Doctors examined him. Eventually, they found no immediate life-threatening condition. Exactly what caused the seizure has never been conclusively established. Some medical experts have suggested an isolated epileptic seizure. Others have proposed stress, exhaustion, sleep deprivation, or a combination of physical and psychological factors? No single explanation has ever been universally accepted. Meanwhile, confusion reached FIFA headquarters. Brazil initially submitted a team sheet without Ronaldo. His place was taken by Edmundo. Then, less than an hour before kickoff, everything changed again. A revised lineup arrived. Ronaldo was back. To this day, nobody fully agrees how that decision was made. Some believe Ronaldo insisted he was fit enough to play. Others point toward Brazil's medical staff. Theories involving commercial pressure from sponsors have circulated for years, but no credible evidence has ever proven that outside influence forced him onto the pitch. The mystery only grew. As Brazil walked onto the field, something looked different. Ronaldo's face lacked its usual confidence. His movement seemed slower, his expression distant. The phenomenon was there, but somehow, he wasn't. France sensed weakness immediately. Backed by an electric home crowd, they attacked with confidence. Then came the breakthrough. A corner, a perfect delivery. Zinedine Zidane rose highest. Goal, 1-0 France. Minutes before halftime. Another corner. Again Zidane escaped his marker. Another header. Another goal. 2-0. Brazil looked stunned. The defending champions had no answers. The Ronaldo everyone expected never appeared. France controlled possession. Brazil created little. Late in the match, Emmanuel Petit scored a third. 3-0. The final whistle blew. France were world champions for the first time in their history. For Brazil, it was heartbreak. For Ronaldo, something even deeper. Questions exploded across the football world. Why had Ronaldo played? What really happened inside that hotel room? Could the final have been different? The Brazilian government eventually launched an inquiry. Journalists investigated every rumor. Doctors offered conflicting opinions. Books were written. Documentaries were filmed. Yet the central mystery remained unsolved. Ronaldo himself later described the seizure as one of the most frightening experiences of his life. He remembered waking up surrounded by worried teammates. He insisted he wanted to play. Others have remembered events differently. Even today, some witnesses disagree on key details. The uncertainty became part of football folklore. If 1998 wasn't painful enough, worse was still to come. In November 1999, Ronaldo suffered a devastating knee injury while playing for Inter Milan. Months later, after returning from rehabilitation, disaster struck again. Only minutes into his comeback match, his kneecap tendon ruptured. Millions watched live as Ronaldo collapsed, screaming in agony. He buried his face in the grass. Medical staff rushed onto the pitch. Many believed his career had ended. Some doctors questioned whether he would ever regain his explosive speed. For nearly 2 years, Ronaldo fought through surgeries, rehabilitation, and endless doubt. Every small improvement required enormous effort. Every training session became another battle. Most players never return from injuries like that. Ronaldo wasn't most players. 4 years after the nightmare in Paris, Ronaldo returned to another World Cup. This time, expectations were different. Many doubted he still belonged among football's elite. He answered with goals. 8 of them. The Golden Boot. Then came another final. Brazil versus Germany. The entire world watched once again. This time, there was no mystery. No fear, only redemption. Ronaldo scored twice. Brazil won 2-0. The man many believed had been finished lifted the World Cup. He completed one of the greatest comeback stories in sporting history. The image of him smiling with the trophy became one of football's defining photographs. The darkness of 1998 had not defeated him. It had shaped him. Today, the events of July 12, 1998 remain one of football's greatest unsolved stories. Was it an isolated medical emergency? Was it extreme stress overwhelming an exhausted young athlete? Was it something doctors still don't fully understand? Perhaps we will never know. But maybe that isn't the most important lesson. Because behind every global superstar, behind every highlight reel, behind every trophy, there is a human being. Someone who feels fear, pain, pressure, expectation. Ronaldo reminded the world that greatness does not mean invincibility. Sometimes, the strongest champions are the ones who find a way to stand again after everyone believes they are finished. The mystery of that night in Paris may never disappear. But Ronaldo's legacy became far greater than a single match. He wasn't remembered because he never fell. He became immortal because he found the strength to rise again.